It's the morning of November 19th, just before legal shooting light, and Seth and I are in a food plot we call Pops. We're at the Northwest Inn in a redneck blind. Of course, all the windows shut, which does an amazing job of holding, seems like almost all the scent in. We've had deer walk just downwind below our blind and not even know in the world. We're looking on this food plot, but there's more to this area than a food plot. A couple years ago, we cut all the cedars about 50 yards off either side of the food plot, left a little visual buffer, and then burned that last spring. So it grew up with head tall forbs and native grasses, great cover for when it's cold. I think it's like 21 this morning. And in the plot is green cover seeds, plot release fall, plot release solars, oats and cereal rye and brassicas and some different clovers. Lots of good stuff in there. Acorns are starting to diminish in abundance. The white oak species, which would be whites and post oaks in this part of the world, have been rained on a few times now, so they're starting to sprout or rot, not be very good. And wasn't a big red oak crop this year, so a lot of reason for deer to cross here. We got bedding literally on 3 sides of this plot. It's kind of an elevator ridge. It goes from the big ridge, which is behind us, down to a valley, so it's a travel corridor. Beautiful sunrise on a cold day. I typically don't see a lot of deer in a plot unless they're just crossing before the frost gets off, and given that was 21, it's going to be a while before the frost melts off. But of course we'll be watching the entire time because a lot of deer cross about midway down this plot, so could just have a pup bring a doe across here at any time. It's a beautiful morning, and I've been on the ground plenty of mornings when it's cold and like this, but this morning it sure feels nice to be in this redneck blind, watching the sun come up over that far ridge. I keep you posted throughout the morning. Got the Winchester locked and loaded, ready to rock. Second one.
One in the field?
Yep, second one.
Yep, I'm on.
Had 3 coyotes come through, been seeing a pack of 5 around. Not sure that's the same group, but 2 down. Are you on it?
Yep.
Oh yeah. You ready?
Yeah. Come on. Smoked it. You smoked it. Let's go. Let's go.
been one of those seasons where I'm just not at the right place at the right time. Proving Grounds 2, I don't know it quite as well, but this field pops. I developed it a couple of years ago, and my daughter Ray tagged a nice buck out of here, and Clay's tagged a good buck out of here. So I just had a feeling about it. Bucks tend to cruise this area because we've cut all the cedars just off the edge of the field. Left cedars on the edge of the field, sort of visual cover, and we're walking in. But just behind that, we felled all the cedars. And you can tell the sun shining on this side over here. And bucks tend to cruise that sunny area and get a bite looking for a receptive doe. So he come out down there about 200 yards, kind of going through, had to get his attention a little bit, put that Winchester right on there, and got the crosshairs all set up. My deer season XP downrange. Excitement of, we are Saturday, so Missouri's firearm season opened 8 days ago. I've been patient, waiting, passed up a bunch of young bucks, got video of cool young bucks and a lot of rut behavior, but just waiting for a more mature deer, and saw that big chest step out down there. Now, you know, here we are, November, 2/3 the way through November, and bucks have lost a lot of weight. I remember as a student at the University of Georgia in our research pens, you know, an acre or less, 3 bucks and 3 does. Another student was working on some dominance research and other stuff. And in those small pens, 3 bucks and 3 does with all the feed they could eat. They eat some feed, more comes into the trough. They would still lose 25 or 30% of their weight during the rut. So you think out about a buck out here in the hills, running up and down these steep hills, chasing does, trying to avoid coyotes, and then by this time of year, they've lost 30% of their weight. So all of a sudden, a 200-pound buck, that's 140 pounds. So their neck and everything shrinks up just a little bit. But that was a mature deer. I could see the mass of the antlers. I don't know that buck because, again, Proving Grounds 2, I don't know all the bucks here. But I knew it was mature, and I was more than happy to settle those crosshairs and take the shot.
Well, Drew and I are in the truck, heading through the property to meet up with Grant and pick up the blood trail. Super excited to see Grant's buck, and it's going to be a good morning. Can't wait to see what he's got. Talk about prime pelts. Of course, this is the exit wound. These were quartering to me. Look at these teeth sticking out of this one, man. Talk about a prime. Look at that. Look how deep that fur is. Look how deep that is. Prime pelt. Younger coyote. You can kind of tell coyotes' age because their canines will be real sharp and they actually get worn off, almost like a deer, but not as much. But man, what a prime pelt. That's going to my buddy Pete, my local taxidermist and friend. He's going to turn this into a prime pelt, which we might give away later, but 3 coyotes come out. I only got 2. I would have got 3rd if I wasn't messing with my hearing protection, but man, what a beautiful pelt. And right on down here, maybe another pelt. Come on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, just walked down from the stand about 200 yards so, got the first blood right here. We're gonna take up the trail, hopefully getting the timber out of this cold wind a little bit. Right here. Yeah, oh, I got blood up here, a bunch of blood up here. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. Give it to me, boys. All right.
Awesome.
Man, yeah. Heck yeah. In the middle. Look at that big old body on that rascal, too. Look at this. Hey, first thing I noticed, look at this. He had a busted hoof. Really busted. That's why I was limping. This is the exit wound over here. Shots high, man. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, I've seen this a bunch of times through the last several years. Deer Season XP is built just for whitetails. I mean, it's built for it, and even though my shot is high, maybe 80 yards, you think maybe at the most, downhill, which means the young guys are dragging uphill. Look at how dark that is where it's been rubbing, all stained up. Some people call that an old gray face. Now, gray really didn't have anything to do with the buck's age, but in this case, big old neck. I am thrilled, man. I am thrilled. Look at that big rascal. Proving grounds 2, baby, on the way. Now, here's the secret. We're going to improve. You can see all these cut cedars here. We're going to do a bunch of fire, do a little bit of improvements. For this age class, these antlers get bigger and bigger because we're going to improve the habitat and put more groceries out here and remove some does. But we're not worried about management right now. We're worried about this hunt and pulling a mature buck out of these old mountains.